it's a double-edged sword, and it's a hard one to get right. For some people don't recover. How are we doing? You may notice that I have shaved off the beard. I've got rid of the fuzz, and I'm looking a bit younger, and I'm wearing a baseball cap because, you know, it's Friday, it's dressing gown day. So in my LinkedIn video, 2 videos back, I hinted towards something quite amazing happening in the next 3 months, and there is something interesting. But what I was sort of hinting towards was a particular thing. I'm not going to say yet, but at that time there was an 80% chance that this thing would happen, and literally within a week, within that day, it turned to 20% chance of that thing happening. And it's disheartening, and it makes you reevaluate, you know, the things that you want. They are, you know, we as humans, we are subject to sort of needs and wants and what have you, and we're living within a system that perpetuates that wanting of new cars, wanting of mainly sort of commercial things, consumerism, that kind of thing, all based around money, and you know how I feel about money. Now that this sort of opportunity is not coming to fruition, you sort of have to break it down into the basic needs and wants of, you know, yourself, and it comes down into several brackets. Well, let me get past the cyclist. Hello, cyclist. Basic needs. It comes down to basic needs and wants, and there are several categories. The first category is sort of the inner self, the human body, the meaty, fleshy, baggy, you know, 80% water or 90% water bag of skin that we drag around everywhere. This upright shaved monkey thing. And what this body needs is, it needs nutrition, first of all. It needs water to survive. Water and food, essentially. And, you know, it's this Maslow's law of wants. And it needs shelter. Now that comes down to the sort of commercial element, the ego, that kind of thing, the house. That we'll come to that in a second. But the other thing is a lot of people miss out is happiness. And to be the master of their own destiny, the master of their own time. Hence why I work for myself, and hence why I'm a little bit of a lazy bastard at the moment, because that's what my body needs. But a lot of it is down to emotional. If the emotional needs are not being met, then it creates an imbalance in the system. And forget about the whole work ethic and the motivation to work and all the rest of it. That's, you know, irrelevant at the moment. But a lot of the stuff comes down to what's your emotional state? Are you happy? Are you unhappy? You know, do you feel unfulfilled? Do you feel loved? Are you loved? Can you love? Do you love others? Are you surrounding yourself with people that love you? Do you have people in your life that make you feel happy? And if the answer is no to some of those things, then look within. Are you happy with yourself? You know, we're all filled with insecurities, but, you know, are we actually happy with ourselves? And if you can get to the point where you're saying, yeah, yes, I am happy with myself. I'm not a bad human. I don't particularly care about how I look because it's irrelevant. I make it an effort to find things that make me happy. I laugh. Laughing is like so important. And I surround myself and I pick and choose. I surround myself with people that make me happy and make me smile, and also question me, and they're not just yes men or just not funny people or people that take advantage. They are people that actually physically and mentally and emotionally contribute to your life. So what do I want? Well, I want happiness, and I've been in a state of blissful happiness now for probably about 2 years. Ever since I moved into my flat, so it's about a year now. And to the point where I've been accused of being on drugs or just being blissfully happy, because I know that no matter how bad stuff gets, how unhappy things or events happen around you, you've only got yourself to be happy. If you can't be happy, then fuck it. Nobody else is going to make you happy. So I want to be happy, and I want to remain happy. That's what I want to do. To support this whole matrix of emotions, there are certain physical needs that your body needs, such as food and water, like I mentioned, but it also needs sleep. That's one thing I don't get. I don't get enough sleep. I'm far too distracted in the evenings to sleep. Whereas a lot of people are, early sleepers, early risers. I'm a, don't want to go to bed kind of person. And because there's too much going on in the world that I want to know about, and I want to absorb, and I want to sponge in all that information. So that's what I want. I want to remain happy, I want to be the master of my own destiny, and I need sleep on the physical side. I also need to get into shape. I haven't done any real training. I've been out on the bike. You saw me on the bike with the horse. Those are all work in progress things. But then it comes down to the sort of the other part where it's, what do I want like long term with my life? Where do I see myself in my career? Where do I see myself? Where do I live? And geographically, I want to see myself living in this certain place. I want that type of thing. I want this type of house. And bearing in mind, it wasn't so long ago that I wanted a big house and fancy cars and all that rest of the other junk. But now I want to live in a community. I want to live in a place where people, like Cheers, where everybody knows your name and that kind of thing, where there are people to look out for you, and there will be someone there to help you if you need it. I've had a little bit of anxiety recently with regards to if I am kind of sort of stuck at home and the flat's locked up. There's no one really, apart from Helen, there's no one really to come and rescue me. I am pretty much on my own, and the fear is that, if Mia's at home with me, she wouldn't know what to do. So I want to be in a place where I want to be somewhere where I'm going to be missed, essentially. If I'm not noticed, then they'll come find me, whether bundled up in a ball or dead somewhere in the house. I know, it's a bit macabre, but yeah, you know what I mean. I've kind of come to the realization that what one needs is slightly less than what one wants. And if you can align those as close as possible, you're pretty much bang on to where you should be in life. So I'd want, 10 acres of land, 10 horses, dogs, cats, some sheep, some cows, this nice farmhouse, log burning stove, a tractor, a ride-on mower, a 4x4. Those are things that I want. Do I need those things? No, I don't need those things. What I need is somewhere comfortable to live, not too big, enough for 4 people, 2 dogs, 2 cats, potentially 2 horses and 3 cars. That's because that's what we have right now. It's all a matter of finding that. And if you struggle to find it, it's very difficult to realize those dreams. You end up compromising, and then you end up resenting. Hold on. Then you end up resenting the fact that you didn't hold out looking for these things. The other part of this, apart from the emotional and physical, you know, wants and needs. There's also a spiritual element. Now, you know, a lot of you out there will not be bothered about God, or, you know, be bothered about any kind of deity or any kind of shit like that. But there are, you know, as I've said in previous videos, there is a connection between us all, one way or another. Whether you believe it or not, it's an actual thing. Call it intuition, call it, you know, a sixth sense, call it, you know, the feeling you get when you can feel someone looking at you at the back of your head. Call it whatever you want. You can, but we are connected in one way or another. Whether it's, yeah, we are connected. Whether it's through the community, or whether it's through the people that you ride with on the bus, whether you are a churchgoer and you anywhere where there's a regular collective of people, there is a connection and a community and a inherent caring of each other. Unless you're a complete sort of cretin of a human that you don't really care about anybody, or don't even look up from your phone screen to take notice and memorize people's faces and recognize them, and, you know, start a conversation, because we're all bloody scared of starting conversations nowadays. Well, I'm certainly not scared of starting conversations with people. I am very not scared of starting conversations with people. So it's but the important thing is to actually appreciate that there is some connection, and you need to feed those connections, and have a little smile in the mind about, you know, we are connected, and inherently most people are genuine and happy, and, well, most people are genuine and honest. Especially if people come from a position of no ego. If they come from a position of no ego, then there's no problems. That's probably why there's a lot of problems in the world. People have ego issues. And again, that comes down to wants and needs, and people want more things than they actually need. Transient things like power and, you know, things that you can't take with you when you're dead, which essentially is everything, including to some degree knowledge. Yeah, I suppose what it comes down to is the haves and the have-nots. I have not this thing and I have this thing, or I don't have this thing and I want that thing, or whatever. And sometimes you have to take a look at what you have got and say, well, I don't need this thing anymore, but I really love this thing. But it falls into the category of not now. And it's hard to make those decisions to get rid of something that you cherish, that you worked hard towards. And you're mixed with, you know, you're filled with a strange sense of loss and relief at the same time. Losing things that you've worked hard for, voluntarily giving up the things that you've worked hard for because now they don't fall within the bigger picture of things, is a difficult and very grown-up thing to do. As I say, you may have given up things in your life that mean a lot to you, but just due to circumstances you've had to let those things pass and give them up. Whereas I've given up and sacrificed a lot in my life, and I've lost, and I've hurt, and yes, been filled with that strange sense of intense sadness, but also slight elation and relief that the thing is no longer in your life, or you no longer have the responsibility of that thing. it's a double-edged sword, and it's a hard one to get right. And some people don't recover. So anyway, that was my Friday. Have a great weekend. Maybe I'll just do another one tomorrow. And remember to stay safe and don't forget to love each other and laugh. It's the most important thing.